very rarely does an artist or band have a perfect trilogy. Sure, they might have a good album or even two back to back. However, it's rare for an artist to have 3 great albums in a row, and on top of that, have each one be better than the last. Tyler the Creator is the only other artist that comes to mind, but that'll probably be its own video sometime in the future. For today's video, in case you couldn't tell by the title, we'll be talking about Eminem. It's crazy to think that this man has been rapping for over decades at this point, and it'll be 3 decades by 2029. Mind you, I'm measuring this from the release of the Slim Shady LP. Funny enough, that's actually where Eminem's perfect trilogy starts. We'll talk about this album first, and then we'll get to the big heavy hitters soon. This LP was released back in 1999, and man, this was the start of something beautiful. Before I listened to this album, which was back in late high school around 2017, all I knew of Eminem was from his singles. So everything from Rap God, Love the Way You Lie, The Real Slim Shady, you get the whole gist. So to listen to this was a trip, but it was one well had, that's for sure. I already knew the track, My Name Is, but it's always a fun listen and a nice introduction to the character, which we come to know as Slim Shady. Next up, we've got Guilty Conscience with Dr. Dre as the feature, and damn, do I love this freaking track. Everything from the ill beat to the concept and the fact that it's hella fun, man, this has it all. You're presented with a bunch of scenarios throughout the course of the track, and we have Eminem playing the mischievous devil on your shoulder and Dr. Dre as the angel counterpart. The dichotomy is really nice, and the back and forth between the two rappers and legends is golden. Then you have a song like 97 Bonnie and Clyde, which manages to switch the tone to a darker one, with talking about the murder of M's ex, Kim, and her partner. Damn! On top of that, he's talking to his daughter Haley in this super sweet and loving tone while talking about all these horrific things. Dog! Eminem's talent to blend the somewhat light-hearted beat and the soft tone of him talking to Haley with the violent nature and topic of the song is just something else. Just to add to this, in case you've never listened to this album or song, you see the album cover? Yeah, that's in relation to this song. Everything from what is meant to be Kim in the trunk of the car to Haley and M looking out from the pier into the lake. Talk about storytelling. Hot damn. I love this track, but saying it out loud like that kind of makes me feel a bit off for, very obvious reason. I am skimming through the album, but that's mainly because I'm talking about the songs I care about. Moving on, I've got one of the most fun, if not the funnest track on here, Role Model. I just made up a word with funner, but deal with it. First things first, that freaking beat is timeless and keeps me in a trance, nodding my head every time I hear it. Slim's take on the idea of role models is hilarious, mentioning all the horrific things that kids shouldn't obviously do. This includes everything from doing drugs, committing acts of violence, and drowning yourself. This tune is honestly just a good time. Next up, we've got easily my favorite track on this entire album, arguably one of my favorite Eminem songs of all time, My Fault. First things first, this has got to be one of the most catchiest songs M has ever made. Just listen to that beat and chorus and tell me if it doesn't make you want to start dancing. I dare you. I double dog dare you. On top of that, the song tells the story of M heading up to a party with his friends and giving this chick he just met some mushrooms. Twist is, she tries far too many and basically overdoses. Now, if you haven't listened to this, you might be looking at me sideways for calling this my favorite track off of the album, which is slightly understandable. But trust me, once you listen to it, you'll understand what I mean. But one thing that always gets me, no matter how many times I listen to this album, is the screams of M as this girl ODs and dies. I know it's fictional, but it's done so well that it just leaves me speechless and just in shock, as if I listened to this for the first time. Mind you, it's been 7 years since then, but if I had to pick one track which encapsulates this whole project, it's definitely this one for sure. Lastly, we'll talk about Bad Meets Evil, which is the second last song on the LP. This track is something special. Beat is a standout and perfectly allows for both Eminem and Royce da 5'9" to shine beautifully. This was also the first time I heard of Royce, and believe me, that man did not disappoint. He rapped like rent was due the next day, and it shows. Seriously, if you haven't listened to this album, go do so. There's a lot more great tracks on this, but I wanted to trim the list to just these. Moving forward, let's talk about arguably one of M's greatest albums, and and easily one of the best hip hop albums, the Marshall Mathers LP. Dude, where do I start with this one? I love that they pay homage to the past project by keeping in the public service announcement, a little nice sense of continuity. Then we're presented with our first proper track, Kill You. Dog, the beat is easily one of the best things ever, and then the little soft-spoken, by comparison, bit in the beginning about Marshall talking about his mum is insane. And then having that transition to him go completely insane on the following verses and chorus is something of beauty. M was always good at rapping, but his ability to double down on the violence here, literally making a whole song dedicated to it while making it catchy as hell, should be a crime. Every time this comes along, it's a mandatory sing-along, baby. Then after this, we have easily the longest song on here, and for good reason, with it being Stan. Dude, there's a reason why Eminem is as big as he is. Everyone and their mothers know this song. The term/slang Stan is literally taken from the song, not sure why, but if that alone doesn't prove the influence of the song, I don't know what will. There's so many things I love about this song. Everything from the sounds of the rain, the notes being written to Eminem by Stan, the storm, and his car driving is beautiful. It's little details like these that I love hearing in songs. It adds to the experience, you know? Then having the progression of Stan getting more progressively obsessive and aggressive towards them is nice, and even this song being a commentary on obsessive fans is something of beauty. On top of that, having Dido's voice on here is somewhat comforting but haunting at the same time, given the events that occur throughout this almost 7-minute song. With track number 7, we have The Way I Am. I know this entire video is going to be me glazing M, but have you heard this track? The dark beat with the amazing piano paired with it is otherworldly. Then you have Eminem details frustrations, everything from unwanted fans, expectations of him as a celebrity, and of him as an artist to match his big singles such as My Name Is. I feel like it's fairly uncommon for artists to detail such frustrations as honest as these and broadcast them to the world. If anything, this felt like a therapy session that I had the privilege of being able to listen to. Marshall definitely did something special with this. Even younger me back in high school knew this was some good stuff. I would talk about the real Slim Shady, but there's not that much to say. Everything I said earlier about My Name Is pretty much the same way I feel about this track. We got an amazing combination on Bitch Please 2, with the features being Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Exhibit, and the Hook King, Nate Dogg. The rapping ranges from super energetic to laid back, and combined with Nate's legendary chorus and singing just makes this a standout track that must be definitely listened to. After this, we probably have the most disturbing track on this entire project by a long margin, and on any M album that I've ever heard. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure of introducing the tragedy, Kim. Remember everything I said with 97 Bonnie and Clyde? Well, yeah. Take out all the cutesy Haley talk and dial up all the violence to an 11 out of 10, which is the minimum here. It starts out with this haunting instrumental with him talking about Haley, normal enough, and the transition comes with the line, "Haley's so precious, Daddy's so proud of you, sit down bitch, if you move again, beat the shit out of you." Yeah, this song is a lot to take in. Like, I know there's creative expression and artists are entitled to express whatever they want, but this is just actually disturbing. The worst part of it all isn't even the violence. It's the fact that it's so well made and it stands out for obvious reasons. Yeah, let's just say I don't listen to this in my free time, and the only reason I'm re-listening to this is for the video. Time to watch animal videos after this. Thankfully, the next track after this, which is Under the Influence, is super light in nature, and I think M knew what he was doing. This tune is super groovy, with super fun raps to match. After listening to this album, I think it's no surprise why Eminem has diamond albums and is regarded as one of the best rappers of all time. On top of that, he managed to outdo his previous project, the Slim Shady LP, with this one by a landslide. Then, a year later, Eminem releases another amazing project, one that's better than the Marshall Mathers LP, and my favorite Eminem album to date. This album is none other than The Eminem Show. Let's start with the amazing banger and opener, White America. That freaking instrumental is amazing. M's rapping is great as usual, and the energy is beyond amazing. You remember how disturbed I was by Kim? Well, imagine my reaction to Cleaning Out My Closet. Thankfully, it's nowhere nearly as haunting or disturbing as Kim. But dog, it's essentially a diss track on his own mama, for crying out loud. If this nigga was willing to diss his own mama, the woman who gave him birth, what do you think he would do to you if y'all beefed? It's like the newer generation must have forgotten M's history with beefs and diss tracks. Because if I heard this song, I would have quit my rap career and started working at a McDonald's. The thing is, this instrumental is so damn good that I'm actually conflicted. Drips is a super fun song, and man, Eminem knows where to place these groovy tracks, because this is only a couple of tracks after Cleaning Out My Closet. I will admit, the chorus isn't exactly my favorite thing ever, but everything else about the song is great. Also, Without Me is absolutely amazing. I could hear the song a million times and never get tired of it. Well, compared to his other singles, that is. There won't be much else to say about this song, because like My Name Is and The Real Slim Shady, who doesn't know these tunes? Every time Eminem is on a track with D12, they never disappoint, and when the music stops is no exception. Amazing all the way through. The beat hits, the rapping's amazing, and the energy is on a 12 out of 10. The beat and back and forth on Say What You Say between M and Dre might be one of my favorite things ever. I can't fully explain it, but damn, that beat is mesmerizing. However, that chorus, similar to Drips, is kinda ass, and I could do without it. Picture it, Eminem and Nate Dogg. Do I really need to say anything else? This has easily one of the best beats, build up in the beginning, rapping, and hooks on this entire album. Oh my goodness, did Nate and M kill it. There's a reason why this song is on every gym mix / compilation, because it hits no matter what. I could be perfectly calm and this song would inspire me to go out and conquer something. They finna mess around and turn me into David Goggins by accident. I think I'm gonna end this dive here, but I'm glad I got to talk about this, as this was a topic that I've always wanted to get around to. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and this is Black Sugar Lovin', out.